What's up, Drew? Looks like the YouTube thing still isn't. It did it on Monday. It threw it into the self-promo channels, but it's not doing it today. At least not yet. No, there. All right. Did it just do it? Nope. Rats. Oh well. Oh well. Oh man. How is only half the day gone? Good Lord. Had a 7 a.m. call. Still adjusting to being back on the left coast again. The whole schedule shifts to early mornings instead of late afternoons. What's up, Aaron? Cool to see the studio coming together. Yeah, man. It's getting there. It's getting there. A long way to go yet, but got the workshop. Mega PCs out of the box. I'm off next week, so we're working on that. Hopefully get that thing up and running next week. Yes, Networking Design Day, Drew. I'm glad you're here, Mr. X Extreme Networks. We're gonna have hopefully have some big people in here today. It's one of those things. This isn't crazy. We're not gonna get crazy here. We're not messing with any BGP. We're not taking Facebook down or anything. It's really about the switch you so graciously donated to the studio, Drew. I think is going to wholesale replace the two Cisco switches that I have, the two smaller SG300 and SG350. Because I did confirm that they are that it does support LACP and lag. It does support VLAN tagging. So I think what we can do is get down to what you doodle. So we're gonna do two things today. We're gonna consolidate the two Cisco switches into the Netgear GS724 24 port, and we're gonna go shopping because today's the day. Today's the day. We're doing it. Trigger pulled. We're doing it today. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you will in a minute. Yeah, it's a good switch, man. I can't thank you enough for that one. It's going to save about 5 U's of rack space. So yeah, we're gonna kick things off here by going shopping. We're gonna shop for. Oh, you can buy directly on MikroTik now. They've updated their. Oh, I see. Never mind. They've got their resellers. I thought they had their own store. Hardware. We're gonna buy a big boy 10 gig switch today. Well, medium size boy. R. Parker, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for joining us. So I've been on this quest, right? I've been trying to figure out what is the best thing to do. And I started going down the rabbit hole of what are they? 5548s, and I think it's a 5548. I mean, look at this. You can get a 5548 switch with, what is it, 48 ports of SFP Plus ports for $230. It's like, it's a no-brainer. That's cheaper than a new 10 gig MikroTik 16 port switch. But if you've ever been around one, you need earplugs if you're within 100 feet of it. It's one of the loudest pieces of kit you can put in a data center rack. It's ridiculous how loud these switches are. And these are just the little 1U switches. You get into the 2U, or I think the 7Ks are like 9U, like the old 6509 chassis. So, I mean, $230. I mean, that, part of me wants to go, yeah, I want that. I want a proper switch with an expansion module in it. 16 port expansion module in it. Yeah, I want that. Do you know how loud that would be? 24 hours a day. No, that can't happen. So it's I keep going back to the MikroTik because fanless. And I'll show you guys the one that I gotta pull it up here. I think it's the 16 port SFP plus. Ooh, they have a 20. Ooh. Oh, no, that's not it. That's SFPs. I need the SFP plus. Is it this one? Oh, wow. No, it's not that one, but that's kind of cool. 10 gig RJ45. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 SFP plus. Okay. I mean, but I'm not paying $600. The one that I've been looking at was $399. Yeah, this one. 16 SFP plus cages. Fanless. Big old passive heat sink on the back. Yep. Got a lot of switching horsepower in there. It's still 1U. It's passively cooled. Dual power supplies. $400. It's an ARM. I can't find any reason not to get this switch as an upgrade to my existing MikroTik switch that I have for 10 gig, because I've outgrown it. I'm at the point of where I need more port capacity, port count. Apparently it does have 2 fans, but I doubt those make any noise. It's got 1 gigabit Ethernet port for management uplink, and then it's got 16 SFP plus ports, a serial port. Comes with your ears and your power cords and your screw kit and all that. I didn't know that they make their own SFP modules now. That's interesting. So this is the switch I've been looking at that I want to get. Let's grab that. Let's find out where to buy. Do we have any friendlies? No names are sticking out. No. All right, so let's jump over. Actually, let's try over here while we're here. I'm not one to buy secondhand electronics. It's just kind of always been a thing. But I would consider it for bigger stuff. And of course, let's try the old Amazon. We put that in. Is that the right switch? 317 1G 16S plus RM. Whoa, almost $60 off? And I could have it Saturday? Who's the seller? Euro DK Limited? That's the right switch. Look at that sexy son of a bitch. Woo, boy. So we're going to get one of these to expand the 10 gig. And I think I've got a buyer for my existing one already to offset some of the cost. Yeah. And I don't need any more SFPs modules right now. I want to make sure this is the right 317 1G 16S plus. No. 317 1G 16S plus RM. What does the RM stand for? So at the end game, what do you mean those are RJ45? No, they're SFP plus, which is what I want, because I've got the RJ45 GBIX modules. So a lot of the stuff I'm going to be using potentially in the future is going to be twin ax, so I'll need to be able to plug that in as well. Yeah, I see SFP plus 1, SFP plus 2. Yeah. They have a version of this that we just looked at that is already RJ45, where you don't need the SFP plus modules. It was twice the price. So, and I'm sitting here doing the math. Okay, if I bought 16 of those, I think they're $50. Be $800 worth of modules. You could kind of make the argument, yeah, it'd be worthwhile to drop the 600 if everything you're going to do is RJ45 and Cat 6. Sure, but I'm going to have some twin ax stuff. The A200, for example, is twin ax. And then in the future, there may be additional twin ax requirements. So I want to make sure I've got capacity for it. Yeah, I don't see any reason not to buy this right now. So it says Cloud Router switch on the front and Cloud Switch series on the top. Let's read some reviews. Weird VLAN. Yeah, I can attest to that. Fan kicks in most of the time, although it's hard to configure even for a seasoned network professional. VLAN config is confusing. Finally got to do what I wanted. Join the Home Lab Discord if you get stuck. Don't bother with Switch OS. This can handle much better. If you run from Router OS and a console cable, should just be a requirement. CLI is feature rich. Winbox is nice. Wish it was prettier. Yeah, I couldn't care less as long as it works. Okay. Any objections to going with this MikroTik? Going once? Going twice? 3 times? Because I'm sold. I think it's the perfect add-on to what I need. I could even keep the other one to increase port count, and I think you can stack them. Which... fine. You lose a port on each one for your uplink, but you could. I'm pretty sure they don't have a console cable or anything on the back, do they? No. Okay. You know, on some of my Cisco switches, yeah, I don't know, Drew. I don't know what's cloud about it. On some Cisco switches and some higher end switches, you can have a backplane cable that will link the two together and make them appear as one switch and operate together. You can do that with like the 3948s and stuff like that. Cisco's 1U enterprise switches. We used to stack those. But those were more for core switching and port count. But, I mean, you could just treat this like any other switch and uplink it port to port. It's all part of the, and have it all on the same VLAN. Just get a 1 meter or a, I don't know, half meter twin-ax cable and link the two together. Yeah, okay. I'm pretty sold. I'm ready to buy. Any objections? Drew, do you approve? Are there any other 10 gig switches in this price range with this much port count that you're aware of? What does Netgear have for 10 gig? Netgear 10 gig switch. Bam. I would love to find a sponsor that would just provide me a switch, but switch model, stackable M full 10 gigabit. Bam. Stackable M30 series, M4300 series. 48 ports. Combo SFPs. That's not a bad looking switch right there. Let's take a peek. It's RJ45. Okay, so no twin-ax on that one. SFP 24 10 gig SFP ports. Yeah, see that would be the panacea right there. 24 SFPs and another 24 gigabit Ethernet ports. One switch. One core switch to rule them all. So that is the M4300. Let's just see. Before I do that, let's add that guy to cart. Yeah, no thanks. Yeah, go away. Oh, Netgear. Oh, Netgear. How much is the 24? Damn, that's expensive as shit. Oh, they're backward. They're combo SFPs, so they're backward compatible to 1 gig as well. Okay, you know what? I got to tell you, that is a pretty switch. That is a very, very pretty switch, and they are very proud of it. I love your console micro USB on the front. I love your USB on the front because you're going to have the switch flipped around backwards most likely in a data center setup, so that your servers just go up to your switch, right? You're not going to have this like on display like I do at the front of the rack. Like even your Nexus 5Ks you had flipped around the other way because the ears go on the back of the switch, because you can put it at top of rack, and that way your twin-ax can just come straight up, and you guys have mostly done this stuff before. Yeah, that's spicy. Woo. And there's no telling how loud that thing is. Let's check out some reviews. Huge potential but early bugs. When was this? 2016? Oh, it's an old switch too. No better bang for your buck in 10 gig.
Heavy says.
Avoid, they burn up. Oh, I don't even know why I'm bothering. Let's buy a Switch. Here, I gotta hide all my shit. We're going with the MikroTik. Even with tax, I'm paying less than MSRP. How the hell are they selling that for $345? Done. Placed. Bought. All right. So that's all the shopping we really needed to do. I knew which Switch I wanted to get. Oh, man. All right. So here's what we need to do. Let's go Excel. New blank workbook. And we need to start listing things off. So the first thing I want to do is kind of inventory. I've got the Eero core. I've got the, actually, no, we don't need to list the Aris. We can't. No, because we're only doing my internal network. All the Aris is doing is handing me a public IP from the ISP. So let's inventory everything. We're gonna have the Netgear GS724. What is this thing again? This is the Switch, by the way, guys. Thank you, Drew. GS724T. Richard! Oh my God, you're back, dude. So glad to hear you made it out of the hospital, my man. That was very scary for a few days. I hope you're still recovering well. We're gonna have the new MikroTik. We'll just call it 10 gig E. And that's really it. Right now, I've still got the SG300, the SG350, the current MikroTik, and the Eero. So we're eliminating 2 switches out of this. Your energy's back up and you're eating again, returning to normal. That's freaking fantastic news, man. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna IP these things. Let's also write down the things that are gonna be connected to the Switch. So there's NIC PC, there's Synology 1817, there's NetApp A200, media server. What else is in there? Oh. Yeah, you didn't miss much. It was mostly me moving and setting up the new studio, which I'm not calling done, but it's 95% done. Now it's about cleaning up, and like I've got 2 cable raceways to install along the floor. I've got to finish doing this wall right here to my left. And then I've got some black versions of the raceways to go on the banisters behind the cabinets. And this weekend, I'm doing some measuring around of the flooring underneath the cabinets, because I think I'm going to cut the carpet out and put a hard floor with some like maybe linoleum on top of it, or maybe hard rubber flooring. I don't know if I don't really want to do that. It needs to be something hard, like a raised floor, but I don't want it to just be like bare wood. It needs to be stylized somehow, so it actually looks good in the space. But we're going to be doing that. I'm thinking about actually raising the floor about 3 to 4 inches off the ground, so that the cabinets sit up off the ground and it's like a proper raised floor, and I can cut some channels underneath it, run some conduit for that kind of shit. We'll see. And I can actually have a place to mount a junction box, gang box, for different electrical connections and things like that. Yeah, I'm not messing around. So we're gonna have some fun in this place, guys. If you thought the last studio was fun, I own this one, right? I'm not limited. Limited only by imagination. Okay, so so we've got the Court Euro that's handed the public that does. So the Court Euro, let's insert. We need to make another insert here, and we need to make a columns section. So we're gonna say IP, net mask, gateway, oh, the other thing I'm going to put in here is, well, we won't do that yet. We're probably going to be adding some DNS and directory services at some point in the next couple of months. Okay, let's just start filling some of these in. So I have 2 main subnets right now, guys. I have 172.16.10/16, and I have 172.16.20.0/16. Right? Those are my 2, and the only differentiation between them is that 1 gig Ethernet, 10 gig Ethernet. That's it. So far. Like that in the existing world, that's where things are at. The other notables, I'll say 172.16.10.100 to 199 is my DHCP range. And I have to check which DNS servers I'm distributing. 1 second, guys. Gotta peek at the Eero. Settings, networking, DHCP. No, I need the DNS. DNS. Oh, okay, so it's using the service provider DNS. It's not ideal, but we can change that. So we'll do primary DNS. As part of this effort, we'll do primary and secondary. We'll probably use Cloudflare and Google 8888. So what is that? 1.1.1.1 and then 8.8.8.8. So we'll make those changes. Okay. What other pertinence do we need to know about the network? We've got our subnets. We've got, VLANs. I'm not doing any VLAN tagging right now. Oh, I know what we need to do. Lags. So the Synology we'll call it 1817 1 gig, and then I've got the Synology 10 gig, and then I've got NIC PC, 10 gig, which is an Intel team on my rig and an LA and a lag group on, it's on the MikroTik. So the two 10 gigs are both lags on the MikroTik, and then we've got one of them for the 1 gig connections on the Sonata, I believe. I'm struggling to remember how we do, because I never did this. One of the reasons we're doing this is just documentation, because this is only going to get more complex, right? So, especially when we get into the A200, and we've got the management network, the cluster network, and the data network. And we've got to have 3 separate kind of, at least VLANs for those. If not completely separate switches and all that kind of stuff. Just keep the tags simple. Yeah, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I don't do anything crazy. That's how I number my shelf IDs, right? I do 10, 20, 30, 40. I don't bother with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and all that. Other pertinence. Most of my, let me insert. So 172.16.10.1 through 99 is core. 172.16.10.101, no. 200 through 254 is what do you call that? Admin operational. It's like the switch IPs, printer IP. They're all statically assigned up in that range with no reservations. I just don't put anything else up in that range. So what do we call that? We'll just call it admin. Nope. Yep. So really, this is about laying out how things connect. So I almost need some kind of board that we can draw on. Anybody know a good whiteboard app? I wonder if MindMeister can do that. Ooh, that'd be kind of cool. I think it's this old thing. Yep, there we go. No, just, I don't know. Take me to my mind map. Oh, wow. We got a bunch of different ones. Right, brainstorming. Aligned, right aligned. I'm trying to think of which one would be best here. Whatever. Oh, I guess I got to delete some of these. We don't really need this anymore. Yeah, whatever. That's the most recent. We'll keep that one. Why do I need it aligned? I don't think I do. So we'll call this DCDDC, right? Go away. And then we'll add... So we'll add the Eris SB 8200. It'd be really cool if it didn't require me to open Visio, but if there was like an architecture site that worked kind of like this, right? Because then I want to do add topic, Eero, and I'll hang it off of there. And then I'm going to do this is going to be where the Netgear GS724T, and we'll hang that off the Eero. And the cool thing is like you can move all these around. Oh, I guess not. I wonder if the org chart would work better. What are you pointing at, Drew? Network design software. Maybe it does exist. Let's see. Whoa, what happened? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hey, this is kind of exactly what I was looking for, guys. All right. Network diagram, Cisco network diagram. Oh, it's all their Cisco icons. Flowchart. Let's just use the generic network diagram. Double click a shape to add text. Okay. Hey, that's cool. Hey, look at this. This is fantastic. Do URLs get filtered? I don't know. Maybe drop it in Discord instead. We don't need all that. We don't need that. We don't need that yet. Let's put you up here in the corner. No. hate that shape. Okay. That's pretty freaking cool, man. Thank you for that. Oh wow! Oh wow! They've even got all the iconography and everything. Wow. Okay. This is kind of what I was going for with the MindMeister. Yeah, normally the bot says it removes, it like warns you. I don't know. It wants me to save it already. Where was the one? Was it flowcharts? No. Maps? Yeah. No. No, that's not what I want either. But these little 2D icons aren't really... Let's get rid of all this crap. Start from scratch. All right, computers and monitors, detailed network diagram. I don't really need the detailed. Copier. I want small icons. Androgynous person. PDA. Oh, man. All right. I like your draw IO better the more I think about it. We want not engineering, not flow. We're not mapping a flow. Probably a network diagram. Let's see what this looks like. No, that ain't it either really. Like, none of these are jumping out at... I need something that's just an overall map. I like the color. It's really, I'm not looking at the diagrams themselves. I'm looking at the iconography and the what's going to be the best representation of what we're working with. And I'm wondering if these cloud ones might be the best one. But they're all going to be specific to services and icons that are names in each cloud provider. Is there just a generic one? You know what? We can do this however we want. So let's do this. And we'll start with the Eris SB 8200, right? That is going to hand off to the Eero. And then the Eero is going to do... So we need to do kind of a box over here. Right beside the Eero. And this is where we're going to do DHCP, DNS, gateway. I think that's the various things it's going to be doing, right? So we'll have, and then that's going to hook into the switch. So the Netgear GS724T, and then we're going to shoot off to MikroTik. What was the model number of that switch? I lost it already. Amazon. Sorry, one sec. Oh, God. Okay. Not now. CRS 317. And then we're going to have... Where was my Excel spreadsheet? So the PC Synology A200 media server. Okay. So we're going to put the things that connect to both right here. Nope, that's not what I want to do. What did I do wrong here? No. There we go. And now I want to do an offshoot of that one. I'd love to add a line to all 4 of these off of this one vertical line, because then I want to do the same thing. Can you make those double-ended arrows? What are my options over here? I guess that doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Okay. Getting there. So then we're going to have everything else. But let's look at our spreadsheet again. So we've got the Eero on there. We've got the Netgear on there. We've got the MikroTik on there. NIC PC, Synology, A200, Media Server. Okay. So what we need to figure out, and this is where I'm wondering if like the network diagrams specifically come in where they have fields like ready-made for. Yeah, I know the arrows are weird. There's a way if you click on the arrow, you can come over here and choose. There's just no like. All right, that works. What happened to my... Oh. Line end. Connection. There we go. Okay. I'm pretty sure I can set the VLAN on the interface options in the GUI. I don't think you have to go to the CLI to do that. Oh, and the only thing I would want to be separating is 10 gig traffic from 1 gig traffic, or data traffic from something else. Because the network isn't that complex. I've kept it to a 1 gig subnet and a 10 gig subnet. Like, but I understand like introducing the A200 with 3 different networks is I'm gonna have to add a third one probably, or VLAN all of it. No, I've got 2 separate lags. So I've got a lag for the 2 1 gig ports and a lag for the 2 10 gig ports. So they would have each of those bonds would have their own VLAN. And then that's lag 1, lag 2, lag 3 in the switch. Well, hey, that works. Can I move that around? Yep, okay. And shift. Yep, that works. Cool. So this is the core of everything. Now, where we need to get more specific is we need to start like use this as a guide. So if we wanted to have a VLAN for 10 gig and a VLAN for 1 gig, we could start carving that up here. And then we need to almost start making separate diagrams or almost like punch-ins for like the 1817 to show the lag IPs and things like that. Like the IP for the Synology, let's go ahead and start writing some of these out. Let's put all this in another sheet. Overview. What? What? Okay. So now we can have, so the IP for the switch will probably be 172.16.10.200. And then the MikroTik will be 172.16.10.205. The Synology is 211. This is where we've got to start getting a little bit specific. So this would be node 1, node 2. Let's see, we need cluster. Node 1. E0M 1610.222, and then node 2 E0M 172.16.10.223, and then the cluster ports IP themselves with 169s, and then I need to have node 1 data, node 2 data. Those are going to need to be IPs. So we'll do those as 172 dot. We'll do those as their 230 counterparts. So 216, 10, 232, 172, 16, 10, 233. So 222 and 232, 223 and 233. Okay. 72, 16, 10, 215. And I think I have a reservation for my PC. 110. Oh no, 110 is the 10 gig. Okay. So we'll need another line here. Insert 172.16.10.143. That's just DHCP. I need a reservation there. So 172.16.20.110. And the Synology is going to have... Bear with me here, guys. I'm just writing all this stuff out while I'm brain dumping. 20.100. I'm pretty sure is... Yep, okay. Is the 10 gig. Oh, really? Yeah, we'll get there. Okay. I think that's what the sheet fills out like. So, I don't know that we really need to fill that all in on the diagram. It would be cool to have like a sort of a professional version of this printed out on the wall as a reference at some point. That's kind of where my thought is, you know, get it really high res printed and on a plotter and frame it and put it up on the wall. That could be fun. Okay, what am I missing here? So the Cisco's are going to come out. I'm going to have to stand up and configure the Netgear today after stream, but I wanted to have all of this kind of mapped out beforehand so I can go in and update IP addresses and things like that. You'd reserve them with the same last octet in each subnet. For what? When you say reserve them, what are you referring to? Because my PC is only one PC. It just needs one IP address. Other than, I mean, outside of the 10 gig connectivity. So what are you referring to there? You know what I'm thinking is I need to leave some room for expansion. Right now, 233, 234, 235. I need to change the cluster IP to something like 220. I think there might be a bit of a delay. I'm not sure. It didn't blow out again, did it? Who knows with this terrible Cox internet? What I can make sure is not happening is other stuff. Yeah, okay. None of that's happening. I'm thinking about re-IPing the A200 and doing 220 as the cluster IP address, and that way I've got all of the 220s and 230s for my node IPs. Up to 10 nodes. When you say cutting 10 gig from 1 gig, what is that what you're getting at? I'm putting it in just in a separate subnet so that it can just be layer 2 traffic, and I mean, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day, I guess. But I want to be able to unplug that microtik from the core switch so that only the things that are talking over that data network, and we're not getting broadcast traffic and all that stuff from the core going across the storage network, is really what it is. I want that .20 to be a storage network, 10 gig storage network. Just more of a personal thing than anything. We could use the same subnet and just VLAN tag stuff, I suppose. I prefer subnetting over VLAN tagging, personally. But there's reasons for both. Going back over this, making sure I'm not missing anything. That's the Synology. What is the microtik IP? Hang on one sec, guys. Okay. What is... Is it Cisco? Yeah. So that's the SG300. So let's document that. And then we'll add another row there. Cisco SG350. There's the microtik. Yeah, okay. So 201 is the current microtik. which means 10202 should be the other Cisco. Yep. So that's the SG350. Got it. Got it. Okay. All right, I think we're all filled out here. Yep. So 172, 16, 10, 202, 01. Come on, fat fingers. So here we can look at the lags. Yeah, this all needs to be reconfigured. I haven't plugged things back into the same ports since I've moved. Like there's no telling where things. I need to just revisit like labeling ports and all of that kind of stuff in port profiles, and like I need to get more into that when I'm standing up the Netgear one. Take everything down, power up the Netgear, plug things in, label my ports, all that shit. But yeah, that's really what we're working with. So we're going to be replacing this 10 gig switch, doubling the port count. We may be able to stack those. We'll see. I'm not 100% sure. It won't be able to be managed all as one switch, but I'll be able to have what is that? 24 ports. So there's my 24 port 10 gig. What else have we got down here? I've got an HP printer that I need to redo my reservation for. I wish autosave worked outside of OneDrive in the Microsoft Office suite. That would be really nice. Did I lose you guys? Drew, you still there? Something happened with the connection? Oh, okay. So really at this point, it's about standing up. Yeah, so this is the current layout. So what I'm gonna do, here's what I'm gonna do. We've bought the 10 gig switch. It'll be here Saturday, a couple days. And I've gotten everything that I need, current IP addresses on the sheet. What I need to do is we're gonna remove the 2 Cisco switches and replace it with the Netgear, and that's gonna take over IP 200. The MikroTik will be 201. And then what I'm gonna do is re-IP the A200 with expansion in mind and give the cluster IP maybe like 205 and maybe start these at 210 and 220. So I've got a little bit more room there for growth over time. So Drew, what were you saying about cutting up 10 gig from 1 gig? What did you mean by that? I think I know what you mean. You're talking about making it 10.100 and 20.100 or 10.211 and 20.211. I think that's what you meant by that, putting them in the same IP number, final number in their respective subnets. I feel like I'm missing something. Let's see if I can do that I'm pretty sure I can do that in Eero. That's DNS. I need reservations and port forwarding. Add a reservation. 143. That's port forwarding. Hopefully that doesn't kill the stream. It will when once I get off stream, I'll refresh it. So I just set a reservation for 110 on my PC to kind of mimic what you were talking about. Totally. I understand what you're thinking. It's just a thought process that how I segment, right? It's a lot of the same principles as VLANing. I've always found it easier to just keep things in different subnets as opposed to keeping up with different VLAN numbers. And I guess at the end of the day, we could do everything in the .10 subnet and just have VLAN 10 and VLAN 20, right? Could do it that way. We're saying the same thing. Yeah. So the network engineer that I used to work, and really this thought process comes from running VMware in production for so long, because they didn't have that VLAN tagging support until they got the distributed switch. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. And so my network engineer was a big fan of VLAN tagging. So when they didn't have it until distributed switch, or it wasn't a common workflow, I ended up taking all of my storage networks where we would mount data stores and we would direct mount to virtual machines. We would put those on a separate subnet, right? and we could track traffic that way. And we would go so far as to not do any layer 3 routing on our storage subnet. Everything that connected was at the top of rack switches, and then you would do a special uplink port over to the core switch for management. We never connected the storage network to anything other than the ESX hosts and the storage arrays. That was it. And we did that very intentionally for security reasons. And then we got into doing like encryption of some of that traffic. And like we were because it's healthcare, it's patient data. It's like if somebody snooped that traffic for whatever reason, you could see transactional stuff happening in databases with social security numbers and all kinds of stuff. Yeah. So there's two different ways of thinking about it. So you assign a port to a VLAN. Yes. Yeah. So you create a VLAN as this kind of abstract thing, almost like its own switch, right? But then in the port profiles of the Cisco switches, you would assign that port to be part of... You could do it one of two ways. You could have ports be members of VLANs, or you could have subnets be members of VLAN. And there would be... Any traffic on a particular subnet would traverse a specific VLAN number. So we had VLAN tagging, which would tag a subnet with a VLAN at the source so that it would traverse over the right ports, right? It's all the same concepts and stuff. It's just said different ways at different companies and manufacturers. But I think I'm in good shape. I think this is what I needed to do. This was necessary work that I had not done, and it really gives me perspective on the work that I've got to do, which is not a lot. This is actually, I'm actually pretty proud of this, and I know there's something I'm not thinking about. Unless you're MikroTik where nothing makes sense. Absolutely. I mean, if you look at their VLAN, you can you can enforce the VLAN, but you can receive only tagged, or you can make it strict, but you can allow receive only untagged. What? But then you got to create your VLANs first. Oh man. So yeah. There was also a little snafu that we ran into with the A200. So if you look at the disk shelf, the caddies that all the disks are in say 3.8 terabyte drives. The actual drive inside... Oh, I've got it turned off. The actual drive inside are the 200 gig flash pool drives. So we're having to make a little bit of an adjustment there. So... What's up, Wells? Which model MikroTik? This one is the... This one's the 8-port SFP Plus, and we just ordered the 16-port. So we're going to be swapping this one out for the 16 port. Oh, hopefully this weekend, hopefully Saturday. But I'm off the next 2 weeks, so lots of time to finish the studio here, work on Mega PC, get that thing done and swapped over. I have no idea where I'm going to sit that son of a bitch. It's massive. Just looking at it sitting over on the table right now. It's absurd how big that thing is. Can I swing the thing over? It's ridiculous. Yeah, nothing but praise for the MikroTik Switch lineup. This will be my second one. The configuration is confusing as hell, but look at the size of this thing. In respect to it's bigger than my arm boom arm. Significantly. Like, you can kind of get an idea just from the IO shield. That's a full ATX motherboard in that little bit of space right there. And then there's two 480 millimeter radiators, giant 1,000-watt power supply on the bottom, more fans at the bottom. It's absurd. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I almost gave myself another sports hernia lifting that thing to put it into the box when we were moving, because I had to hold the foam onto the front and rear ends. It has to weigh the best part of 100 pounds. And it doesn't even have liquid in it yet. You know what would be really cool is if I could back up the config from this 8 port and put it on the 16 port. What is this one? The CRS 309? I don't see any updates. Oh, fix flow control. Fucking flow control. Let's go system. Save backup. Is that what I do? Save the backup. SWB. Let's throw that on the old desktop just to have for this weekend. I'm curious. Huh. VLAN, okay. Yeah, who knows? Bunch of hex. We'll try it. What I'll try and do is just restore the config and see if it has all 16, like if the new OS detects the new ports. I'm assuming it's the exact same switch, guys, just with 8 more checkboxes here. I mean, the IP is going to stay the same. The host name will stay the same. Like, all this config will stay the same. It's amazing that it's only 43C with no fans. Oh. All right. Drew, what am I missing? What am I forgetting? What am I not thinking about? Yeah, I opened it. Did you not see it? Yeah, we must be on a big delay here with chat. I'm considering going back to just 1080p instead of 1440p so that I can do the ultra low latency setting with chat. Because that's frustrating. Oh. Terrible streamer. Feel like what am I forgetting? No, it's not that I'm forgetting something, it's that I've got work to do. So I've got to take the two Ciscos out. Identify what I need to color code my cables too, which I kind of did already, but I don't have enough short run cables because I want to keep all of my kind of standard cables blue, my core cables red, and my 10 gig cable's black. Let me see if I can. I'll open that again. Was there a recent open? Desktop. This is what it looked like, Drew. Boom. Oh, the other thing I need to do is the trip light PDU. We got to stand that up and get the software so we can monitor power. Mega PC is going to have 2 Ethernet connections, which will probably be another lag. It's got 2, it's onboard 10 gig. We'll see how well that works. Because I've got the new 11th gen Intel CPU in there. But it's got its own 10 gig controller on the motherboard, which is nice. Actually, is it? No. Okay, so it's 1 2.5 gig port, and okay, we can put that on here. I would just technically replace these 2 IP. So I've already set a reservation in the router for this IP address to change to 110 and be a reservation. So the next time, whenever I get off stream here, I can renew IP config renew, and hopefully it gives me the 110 because of my MAC address. So my 2.5 gig, which brings up an interesting question. My 2.5 gig is going to have to go to the MikroTik as well. That can't go on the .10. I guess it can't. I mean, it can't go on the gigabit switch. Otherwise, I won't get 2.5 gig, which means I need to keep that 10 gig switch uplinked so that it can talk to everything else on the gigabit network. Ooh, okay. So we got to think about this. I don't want to have a 2.5 gig port and not being able to use it up higher than 1 gig. Ooh. Not that it's really going to matter, but I'd hate to have it and not use it. I do not have a multi-gig switch. Nope. Other than the MikroTik. So, here's where we could start getting into some VLAN design. I'm going to have 16 ports. I'm currently using 6 or 7. And that's with 2 of them on my current PC. It'll matter to the extent that nothing on that MikroTik. Yeah. But I'll be wasting a 2.5 gig port. Should I keep the 8 port MikroTik that uplinked to the core switch? So hear me out. Actually, let's draw this out. This is a 309. Oh, what in the world is happening here? Let's go pull up the .309. Capable of 2.5 and 5 gig when running router OS and will auto negotiate to those speeds. Speed showed up incorrectly as 10 gig in the web UI, but other than that, it worked okay. That being said, used MMF and 10 gig NICs are way cheaper. The only advantage I see for copper is if you have pre-run cabling already, where you can only use one copper module every other port, so it divides your capacity in half. That's not true. That's not true. Look at ports. Where am I? 10G, 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 10G. Full duplex. The hell is he talking about? Oh, it'd probably help if I turn these on. No wonder the A200 couldn't see him earlier. Ta-da! The simple answer is usually the right one, or the simplest answer. So right here, I could come in and name each of these with a name, right? That's kind of what I want to do. I want to go through and like, okay, what are these? So this could be like, I'm pretty sure these first two are the Synology lag, Synology 10 gig lag. And then the next two are my PC. And then there's one for media server. And then these two are the A200. Like I want to come through and name all of these rather than getting a label printer and all that shit, right? So, apparently it's possible. I think how old is that? June 2020. So that's 18 months old. I have to believe that in the software they've updated it so that it reflects 2.5G. And it doesn't just arbitrarily say 10G. That'll be interesting to find out what happens there. So yeah, that's it, guys. I got some work to do. I got to replace the switches, the Cisco switches, with the Netgear one. And then we're going to go through and relabel everything. Then I'll replace this MikroTik with the one that gets here Saturday with twice as many ports. And we'll label those things. We'll probably do a lot of this on Monday. Next Monday's stream. And then we're tearing into that bad boy. Because that thing's getting up and running sooner than later. What I haven't quite figured out yet is how I'm going to display it. And I think how I'm going to display it is right here to the right. You guys can kind of see. Kind of. There's an area right here between the end of my desk and where the workshop table is. It's currently got like the Enthuse 719 and a couple of stuff like right there, just until I figure out what to do with them. But I want to get a little table that can support 100 pounds of weight and sit it right there. The problem is you're just not going to be able to see it on stream. My hope was that eventually I could move the camera over a little bit more and have a side shot with Mega PC in the frame. But I just don't think that's going to be possible or realistic. I don't want to talk to right here with you guys over here. It'd be like watching the stream like this the whole time. And that would suck. I don't want to be looking off to the side. I want to talk to you guys. So, unless I put it in the middle of the room behind me. This is one of the the tragic flaws of putting the desk this way. You guys can see everything behind me, but you're not going to be able to see Mega PC. I mean, unless I did one of those things that Linus just did where he did a fiber optic dock and I put it over there next to the TV. Not out of the realm of possibility. Anyway, we'll figure all that shit out down the road. Let's focus on getting it up and running, getting it plumbed, getting fluid in it, getting it tested, all that stuff. But yeah, next week, I want to have that thing up and running. The hardest part is going to be all the cabling in the back. All the fans and the controllers and the Commander Pro and the pump and all of that. That's going to be we haven't even done the hardest part yet. Making sure I have all of the rails for the EVGA power supply. Making sure I've got the right power connectors for everything. That's going to be the hard part. That's what we've got to sort out next week. And then zip tie it all together and hope the doors close. So we'll see. We'll see. Got to make a mess. Got to cut one more tube. No more bends, I don't think, but we've got to cut a couple more tubes and secure all the fittings. Yeah, I think that's it. We were that close to being done before the move. And then we're going to pressure test it because I've got the EK water blocks pressure tester. We're going to do that. We're going to make sure all the fittings are tightened down, double check everything, put some distilled water in it, let it run for 24 hours, drain it, and then put our purple Corsair fluid in it. And we're off. We're off. I've been so particular about putting this thing together. We've been working on that rig for a year. I bought my 3090 a week after Black Friday last year. I've had a 3090 for a year and it has yet to run. That's heresy. So, I mean, not gonna lie, there's part of me that wants to put it back together and sell it for $3,500 or whatever the hell I can get for it right now. But then what would I use? A 2070 still? Eh. All right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go work on that switch. Start getting some of this stuff done. Thanks for hanging today. Thanks for the help today, Drew. Wells, it's good to see you again, man. Oh, 2 more days. Oh, we're getting our boosters on Friday. Solar's getting installed on Friday. No stream on Friday. Early heads up because the power is going to be cut off as we cut over to solar. Yeah! It's going to be a good time. I might try and actually do a live stream with my phone over LTE. That could be fun because I do have full signal up here. But yeah, everything's going to be turned down. It ran for a few minutes. That's true. Until it flipped the circuit breaker in my power supply. Solar's gonna be fun. But we'll see if I can like live stream from my phone. Kind of walk you guys around and show you guys what's happening as they do the install. They're getting here at 7 a.m. on Friday, and they said it's a full day install. They got to drill through the roof and mount the panels and put the inverters up there. They got to swap out the meter from NV Energy. All kinds of stuff. There's all kinds of stuff that's going to be going on. But yeah, I can't wait to see like the dashboards, how much power we're generating, all that shit. Like I'm geeking out about that kind of stuff. I want to do some things like build some Grafana dashboards on my power consumption versus how much we're generating. And apparently I'm able to hook into all that with a token and be able to pull it into my own dashboard. So to be determined. We'll see. But yeah, we're just getting started with this house. This house is going to be a content creation masterpiece. I can't wait for all. Power walls are going to get added in the garage next year. We might be putting another cabinet for some mining in the garage. Yeah. I got a bunch of GPUs laying around doing nothing. Might as well put them to work. Especially if we're going to have all this free power. Well, we'll see. To be determined. I need to see what a baseline of the power generation looks like over the course of like 3 months before I really make any crazy moves. So, everybody have a great rest of the week. I'll keep you guys posted in Discord about the solar stuff on Friday. We'll see how that goes. And then the Switch on Saturday, and we'll configure it all and have it done for Monday. And then Mega PC. Have a great week, guys. We'll see you next time. Peace.